Good Monday morning. When Philly and I first got married, we hadn't been married that long. I had my youngest bonus daughter meet me at the car, and she was like, Denise, you're not going to believe it, but one of the girls slammed the door and it fell right off. Well, come to find out, the door was slammed and Dad took the door off to remind that little one that doors are a privilege and not a right, and that he was the owner of that house. But it makes you realize that doors are a powerful gift. Doors grant access. And they also are hedges of protection, keeping what's outside from getting inside. Jesus describes himself as a door. He describes himself in John 10, beginning with verse 1, this way. He says, I assure you and most solemnly say to you, he who does not enter by the door into the sheepfold, but climbs up from some other place on the stone wall, that one is a thief and a robber. But he who enters by the door is the shepherd of the sheep, the protector and provider. So he's telling us, this is what I am for you. I'm a protector and a provider. The doorkeeper opens the gate for this man, and the sheep hear his voice and pay attention to it. And knowing that they listen, he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out to pasture. And when he has brought all his own sheep outside, he walks on ahead of them, and the sheep follow him because they know his voice and recognize his call. They will never follow a stranger, but will run away from him because they do not know the voice of strangers. Jesus used this figure of speech with them, but they didn't understand what he was talking about. So good news for us, we're not the only ones that can't always figure out what he's talking about. So he's very patient and he repeats himself. So Jesus said again, I assure you and most solemnly say to you, I am the door for the sheep leading to life. So in case anyone tried to tell us there was another point of access to Jesus, there was another way to get to heaven, there's another way to get to God, they were wrong. Jesus is the only access to God. There's no other way. He's the one leading to life, eternal life. All who came before me as false messiahs and self-appointed leaders, they are thieves and they are robbers. But the true sheep did not hear them. So the true sheep were able to discern the lies of the enemy from who Jesus really was. I am the door. He says this again. Very important to realize if he's repeating it this many times. Anyone who enters through me will be saved and will live forever and will go in and out freely and find pasture, spiritual security. The thief comes only in order to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they might have life and have it and enjoy life. So not just have life, but enjoy life. That's part of what we tell people at Reclaiming Hearts. It's the whole reason we're in this ministry. This John 10:10 verse and Proverbs 4:23. We're teaching you to guard your heart. We're teaching you there's a real enemy to your story, but that God has come that you might have life and enjoy it. And have it in abundance. You were created to live the life you were created for. And it's interesting that this symbol of this door is used in the Old Testament. When Noah tells the people that there is going to be a flood, they do not believe him. And there is just one access to safety, and it's the door to that ark. When the children of Israel, when God is trying to convince Pharaoh to bring them out of Egypt, and he is doing those miraculous signs, the very last one is what is called the Passover. It's the feast that's now celebrated, the Passover feast. And he said, he gave them specific instructions for everything they were to do. And the lamb that they slaughtered, they were to put the blood on the doorpost. And that meant when the death angel came by, to take the firstborn of the Egyptian sons, that the Israelites' firstborn would be saved because the blood over the doorpost kept them safe. Jesus then would be the blood of the door, making him the door of access to eternal life. Friends, We've heard for years that there are many ways to get to God, but there truly is just one. This Lamb, this Jesus, protecting us from the thief who comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And friends, we need to know there is a very real thief who is after our hearts. But Jesus said, I am the door, and I have come that you might have life, enjoy life, and live it to the full. So I ask you today, what are you giving access through your door of your heart? And I can tell you this, if you will trust the door, you will live the life you were created for.